break, we were having an excellent discussion with 3 Des Moines area employers who are sharing with us some insight about what they look at when they're looking at future employees.
We were talking about attention to detail. When I submit a resume, it's really important that I know what's there. We've actually seen applications that we know someone sent to a number of employers. They say they'd like to work for, and they list another employer instead of me.
Sure.
You ever see that happen?
Once or twice.
Okay, so it is important to pay attention.
Sure, it is. And I also think that with that, people will make 2 or 3 different versions of their resume. It's important to be detailed on each resume for the job that you're applying to. One might be customized and look very different than a different one. We might have candidates that are applying to both of our jobs right now, and it would look very different.
And if someone needs resume help, I'll give you a plug, Liz. Iowa Workforce Development has a great team of individuals that can help you work on your resume and can help proofread what you've got.
One of the things that we're seeing in this recession are folks who have had short-term employment due to no fault of their own. They may have gone to a job and worked there for several months and had another layoff that affected them. How do you think they should package those issues, and how do you look at them?
One of the things I think that's important on their resume truly is to be honest and reflect that, and put those circumstances under the reason for leaving as positively as they can. If it was through a layoff or something that was not their own fault, simply state it as such. If you have people who maybe it was because of their own behavior that they were asked to leave a position, to be honest about it and be as positive as they can be, rather than conflict with management or something else that could be perceived as negative.
I agree. I think those are all good, are good approaches to those kinds of situations. In the way the economy has been, I think that employers are a little bit more able to overlook some of those shorter stints in employment just because that they do happen.
With Wells Fargo in the Des Moines area, we have a lot of opportunities that just require maybe a year of experience. So it's important that if you have a year, whether it was this year or maybe 2 jobs back, that you can at least see that year or that minimum qualification.
Now, when you're reviewing an application, are there particular words that you look for? I mean, do you actually screen it, or is there a computer that screens my application? I mean, how do I know that I'm going to put in the right words to get that interview?
At Wells Fargo, it's always screened by a human, so not a computer screen. So either the hiring manager or recruiter will look for the minimum qualifications that we're asking for in the job and make sure that the resume demonstrates that.
Ours are always screened. I guess it's important that if you're applying for a particular job that's been advertised, that you say that's the job that you are applying for, and not one that you think that you would like that maybe isn't being advertised for right now. But I just think it's important for you to know and reflect the skills that are being asked for in that application.
I agree. We have a segment of our positions that have to have a prescribed education and licensure, such as a registered nurse or a physical therapist. Applicants need to review those and apply for jobs that they're qualified for. If you're applying for 20 jobs and 15 of them you're not qualified for, makes it appear that you're out there just clicking on all open positions rather than really searching for the position that you're qualified for and interested in.
One of the things that we're seeing as we work with folks who are being laid off in this economy is there are so many more tools, like their cell phones, their email addresses that they have, and many of us set up those tools, electronic tools, for our personal lives. And we didn't necessarily set them up for a professional job search. And I'd like to hear from all of you about some instances where that's really important, that those be, professional email addresses or great messages on their cell phones. Or
email addresses, that's one of the things that's right at the top of our application, and we screen them also, not using a computer, but people read those. If you have an email address that seems to be degrading or was meant to be humorous, may not be the best choice to put on a professional job-seeking resume or application, as well as other comments or things on your application that may be less than professional. Very important to keep it professional.
In that same line, I think that it can be a little bit intimidating to leave somebody a message on a cell phone, and the message is either music or maybe it's a slogan that you're not familiar with what it's really trying to say, and it really makes you think twice about that applicant. So, you know, this is your chance to make a great first impression, and maybe, you know, you need to really review those before that you put all your applications and resumes into the system.
Mm-hmm. As a recruiting manager at Wells Fargo, with a team of recruiters that make lots of calls all day long, I'll tell you, we would appreciate not having the cell phone messages with, you know, your favorite song, not ours, and vice versa. So, yeah, and same thing with the email messages and back and forth. So
are any of you going to check my Facebook page and Google me?
I'm not going to. No, my hiring managers may, and I don't realize that, but that is not our policy. Absolutely not.
But it'd be smart for me to really take a look at what's on my Facebook page and Google myself to see what may turn up.
Even though it's not a policy, it's still public. So
Yes.
sure.
Good point.
Absolutely. We do not do that pre-employment either, but again, it goes with maintaining that professionalism that you want anyone who sees that to see you in the best light possible.
What about temp agencies? Do any of you use temporary agencies as a kind of intermediary between the employee? And I've got time for one answer.
We do, and we work with you know, a select few in the Des Moines area as well as over the country, and we do have good relationships with them, and that is sometimes a chance for some people to get their foot in the door.
Thank you. That's all the time we have today. Check out the IWD website for jobs that are available in these professions or others. Liz and I will be back in just a few minutes.